Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. On today's video, what we're going to be doing is a project. We're going to be making a beer flight out of some stuff that I found at Goodwill and some really old barn wood that I have laying around that I wasn't sure what to do with it. So what we're going to be doing is I decided we're going to make a beer flight for somebody. I think they're going to love it. So let me show you what I purchased and how we're going to do this. So I went to Goodwill the other day and just kind of killing some time browsing around. I found these two boxes of glass jars that were $4.99. I thought they were kind of cool. They look like mason jars, but I have a feeling that they were for candle making, like candle jars or something along that lines. These are one of the perfect sizes for an actual beer flight because you don't want to use big glasses on a beer flight. They're more for sampling and whatnot, and I thought that these were pretty awesome. 9-ounce jars that we're going to use, and I got 2 boxes of them. This box, unfortunately, was missing 2, which is no big deal. I'll make some different ones later, but in this video, we're just going to go ahead and make one. Now, let me show you something else. So here's what I'm going to make the actual beer flight wood out of. This is a piece of hard maple that was from a barn. You can see the old rough sawn saw marks right here. These are pretty awesome. They're super cool. Now I tried a project before and I tried to do something with some resin filling, but it really didn't work out the way I wanted it to. So these were sitting off to the side. I have another one back behind there as well. But what we're going to do is check out the backside. It's super nice stuff. So I decided to just kick these off to the side and maybe turn them into something later, and what better than an awesome beer flight board. So this is going to be a 5-drink beer flight. Look at that. I think this is going to be perfect. The only thing is, this board is too wide. So what I'm going to do is in easel, I'm going to create these circles. They're going to go ahead and be spaced out evenly, inlay the hole that these jars are going to sit in. I'm going to create a box and I'm going to cut this off. I'm going to cut these edges off. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get this into easel and get it designed up. Hey guys, all right, now that we're in easel, what we're going to do is we're going to create this pattern that I want to do to cut out and kind of recreate a whole new board out of a board. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to change up here at the top. We're going to come over here and we're going to change the dimensions of my cutting piece. The piece that I have is 10 inches wide. I'm going to actually overcut because I don't want to cut out any of that tip where the curved piece is. I want to make sure that I cut beyond that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually make this 22.5 inches long. I'm going to change over here. We're going to come to change this to millimeters because I usually, when I do thicknesses, I use the millimeters because it's a little bit more precise for me than using inches. So I measured and it's I think it was like 10.3 millimeters thick, so I'm going to put 10.75. And that'll ensure me that I'm cutting all the way through. 10.7 should ensure me that I'm going to cut all the way through when I do my cut. When we click over here, you're going to see that this is kind of what the cutting board looks like without the little curve part like this. But that's what I want to keep. I don't want to get rid of any of that. We're going to come over here and we're going to hit this home button, and that's going to show me what the actual piece is right here. Changing over to millimeters, from millimeters to inches, I'm going to create a square right here, and I want to make sure that this is also 6 inches wide and 22.5 inches long. I'm going to cut on the outside because I want it to be 6 inches wide from this point to this point, not from the outside edge. So we're going to go ahead and do that. We're going to cut it on the outside of that path. So now I know that I will have 6 inches from here to here. Let's zoom in a little bit. From here to here will be 6 inches, not on the outside. All right. So let's go to edit and center that to the material. So now what we're going to do is let's hit home again, and you're going to you'll see right here that this gray bar is on the outside because from here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If I were to change this to, let's just say, cutting on the shape of the path, I'm going to have just under 6 inches. It's not going to be 6 inches. It's going to be like 5.75 because my end mill is 1/8 of an inch thick. So 1/8 and 1/8 is a quarter. So therefore, I'm going to be losing a quarter of an inch if I cut on the path. So what I want to do is I want to cut on the outside of the path. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut my circles where my inlays are going to be for the glasses. We're going to come over here. Let's cut some circles. We're going to come here. So let's go over here to millimeters again. We're going to lock this because I want it to be a perfect circle. And if I only change one of these, then we should be good. And this is going to be 74.5 millimeters. And you'll see both of those change. So now my circles are going to be 74.5, okay? All right, Command C, Command V, Command V, Command V, Command V. All right. I'm changing back to inches because here is my 19-inch line. I got to make sure that my circles don't go beyond 19 inches or they will run over the little hole in that handle that I created on the original cutting board. So I want to make sure that we don't go beyond that 19-inch mark. Okay. I'm going to let the easel program do the work for me with my spacing. So I'm going to select all of these, not that, holding down the shift button, and now I'm going to go ahead and make sure that they are evenly distributed, which you could see right there I did, and now we are lined up by clicking on this button right here. So I'm going to center and then just make sure that I'm just below that 19-inch line right there. So let's zoom in a little bit. And right here's 19 inches because that little hole, that little knot is somewhere around here on that cutting board. So I want to make sure that I stay below that mark. The only thing I need to do is now change the depth of these cuts. I'm going to go back over here. I jump back and forth to millimeters and inches a lot. Sometimes with really big lengths, and it's easier just to do that, but if you really want to be precise, using millimeters is the way to go. All right, so we're going to do a 5 millimeter pocket. So if we come over here to the side and twist this a little bit, you're going to see that I have a 5 millimeter pocket. But now what I need to do is cut this out completely. So I need to change this, come on, to all the way through, okay? And I do not want to use any tabs because I'm going to use the tape down method. And we should be good to go. So now it's going to cut off these edges nice and straight on my original cutting board that I have over there. So let's go to my bit. My bit is correct. It's a 1/8 inch bit. My cut settings are good. I think I'm going to change this to a 1 millimeter cut depth. Come on. Well, there's a reason why, because we're not doing manual. You got to come over here and select manual. I'm not worried about the spindle speed. It doesn't really matter. I just set that manually. Let's change this over to just 1 millimeter depth per pass. And then I'll do a 20-degree ramp entering in the board itself. All right, let's come over here and simulate. And this is going to take about an hour and a half to do, which is one of the longer of my cuts. But I'm okay with that. I'm just going to go ahead and make sure that you hang out while your machine is going. Unfortunately, for an hour and a half, I'll have to be here and yeah, hang out. But I think we should be good. All right, let's go ahead and get this mounted onto the machine and then go ahead and start the cut. Not straight. guys, so what I did was I went ahead and I stopped the cut for 2 reasons. Number one, I want to let my router kind of cool down a little bit. This Bauer, it's actually not hot. Check it out. I just stopped it and I can put my hand on it like that. I've heard a lot of people talking about how their Bauer routers get really hot and they can't use them. Well, let me show you something. I just turned it off and it is barely hot. People talk about how they can't touch it, and to the touch it's super hot. This is cool. This isn't even anything, and this piece in here is ridiculously cool. It's not hot at all. Now I'm not going to touch the bit because that's going to be super hot, but I also made a mistake on my design. I put let me show you real quick. On my outside border I did 2 mistakes actually. Number one, the thickness of my wood here is not 10 millimeters. It's actually 27 millimeters because I thought it was 10.7 millimeters, but it was only in my calipers were set to inches. So that is actually like 27. So I have to redo that. The other thing is this is going to be cutting outside of the boundary for my 0 mark, so it's going to actually hit the f-stop. So I should have moved this up a little bit so that it wouldn't have stopped or anything like that. So what I'm going to do is change that number there and then also move this line up. I'm going to get rid of these circles because those are already done. And yeah, we should be good. Let's go ahead and hit home. right, guys, that is it. That is a video of the day. If you like this video, go down below, give it a thumbs up. If you're not yet subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell button. That way you get notified of all of my newest videos. I think this thing turned out pretty awesome. This is a really heavy-duty beer flight that I think they're gonna love. So if you think so, put a comment down below. I reply back to all of my comments. Tell me what you think. I think I might actually do one thing before I ship this out. I might put some little rubber feet on the bottom just to kind of protect and keep it off the table a little bit. But that's it. That's the only thing. So this is what it was before, and this is what it is now. So I'll probably make a second one of these and do something like that, and yeah, go from there. But all right, guys, until that next video, make sure y'all do one thing, stay awesome, and we shall see you on the next one. Bye.